Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Third and 10 Podcast, Season 3, Episode 53. I am your host, Nathan Nguyen, joined by my guy, Brian Germanaro. We hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. Big news. Just might as well get into it. Coming out of the NFL,
Yep.
as are the Giants have fired Coach Brian Daboll um, after a 2-8 start and what is has been almost three straight awful seasons. The Giants decided to let their former 2022 Coach of the Year go, and now the Giants will be looking for they're already on their sixth head coach in what, 5 seasons?
Uh, that doesn't sound
That
right.
does not make sense at all.
That
Six
that
coach
that's
in
not at
8 seasons. Bro, I
Uh,
don't know. They
no, that's not right either. It's
really
longer.
wow.
It's
Nice
like
job, mate. Great
it's Nick,
start.
Shermer, Judge, Dable. That's three. I mean, if you want to count Spagnola's four, and then Kafka's five, so it's five coaches in since 2016 with two interims.
So where did I get sick?
I don't know where those numbers came
Thank
from.
you, Twitter, for messing me up. I will never
hmm
forgive you today.
Yeah,
Well,
because it
regardless,
was McAdoo, Shermer, Judge, and then Dable.
six coach in 10 years.
Yeah, six coach in 10 years because you got Spagnola and
Yeah.
Kafka, which, are coaches.
Yeah, in terms. So we'll
Yeah.
just yeah. There you go. See, I knew the number was there somewhere. I was like, wait a
hmm
minute, what was it? Um, but yeah, Brian. First off, how you doing? And we might as well get into it, my friend. How do you feel
Yeah,
about
I
the move?
mean, this was shocking. First off, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. We wouldn't
Yes.
be doing this without you guys. So, hats off to you guys. Happy birthday 250 to the Marines too. But yeah, no, this is a monumental day for the Giants. We don't do this. Like, I've been very adamant on this show about how whatever decision was going to come from Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen is coming from the offseason because the Giants don't fire head coaches mid-year. Like, this is only the second time, or maybe the third time in the 100 years of Giants football that they've made a change at head coach mid-season. So, I mean, I wasn't surprised when it happened because somebody had to take the blame for what happened on Sunday. The 24-20 loss. It's the fourth time this season. They've had 10 plus leads on the road. And that comes down to coaching. I thought it'd be Bowen. I didn't think they'd go Brian Daboll off the bat, but if you knew that Daboll wasn't the answer, might as well get a head start on finding your next head coach.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. For me, I spoke with Brian about this, and I spoke with the boys from the corner booth as well. And it's crazy to say it, but it's been almost what, 24 hours, and I really still don't know how to feel. From an emotional standpoint, I love Dable. I loved when we hired him in 22. Um, like I've said on multiple occasions, I love the fact that him and Shane came in as a package duo. But I did mention before, if Dable was gonna go, then Shane has to go too.
That is where I agree
Um,
with you too. But the Shane is different conversation.
yes, and we'll get to Shane probably later
Yeah,
and
Shane.
later on.
Yes, we'll have to talk about Shane because that
Yeah,
I think will be similar with.
yeah, because he's someone that I want to put in the limelight specifically. But in terms of Dable right now, I loved him. Look, obviously, when in his first year, it was a great year for us. We went 9-7-1, made the postseason for the first time, won a postseason game actually for the first time since 2011, 2012, which was
Super Bowl.
our Super Bowl year, and it was a great year. It was this different energy that it brought to the team. The team was aggressive during games and going for it on 2 point conversions when they could have won for the tie, or it was just it was a great year. And I'm being repetitive at this point, but after that year, things just fell off
Spiral.
in a big
Spiral.
way. Like, yeah, you would think like the team was supposed to kind of
It's not even that. It's like the middle of his first year. Because remember, they were like 7-2, and
Mhm.
then they had that weird cold streak.
Yes, that is true. And then they kind of got things back on track and
Yeah, towards the
snuck into the
end.
postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then after, like, once 2023 hit and beyond, things just changed. There was no longer this aggressive approach on offense by the team. They were playing scared and uh,
That's a big
defense.
thing. Scared and
Yeah,
soft.
yeah. Offensively, they weren't really a top unit at
Nope.
all. That's been the case for the past couple years now. Giants were like below average in points per game or yards per game, whatever the case may be. Defensively, they were, average, middle of the pack type of unit, especially 23 was, Wick Martindale was still there. So the defense
Yeah.
was still pretty good. But then once his fallout with Daboll happened, Martindale left and whatnot. And I think to start with Daboll, let's go with the positives actually real quick. So
Yeah.
9-7-1 first year. That's great. Another positive for me with him was the offense finally got things going this year. I know we're fast forwarding from 22 to now,
Right. Yeah.
but the offense did take a step this year because he was able to get his own guy. And we've,
Mhm.
we've talked about on the show before, right? It's like, okay, he's dealt with the bum that Daniel Jones has been, or was, during his time with the Giants, I should say. And then finally got rewarded with his guy
Mhm.
um, this year because he was the one who wanted Dart. Shane did not. Um, Look, the players loved him at one point, which was
Yeah.
good.
But there's that video. That video of him dancing in the locker room will
Yeah,
always live on.
bonding with his guys and stuff like that.
It's
Um,
I mean, that video is gonna be very similar to, do you remember when the Giants first hired Joe Judge? It was that first training camp, and they're doing the drill where they're trying to get fumbles in the mud, and Joe Judge did it a couple
yeah,
times. The guys were
hmm
fired up. That's I feel like that video and then the Daboll dancing will live in very similar veins where it looked like the Giants had found their coach, and like a players like, will bond with the players but kind of be hard on them at the same time, and both of them turned out to be wrong.
yeah. So it's just, we just thought that he was someone that would fit with the vibe of the players, and if that at one point he did fit the vibe,
Yeah.
and everyone loved him, but
Well,
then
it's winning. It's winning cures everything.
yeah. But then when the losing happens, and then you hear about these different things in the locker room, where it's like
Hmm.
whether it's a fallout with Wink or just his
The
hard
Kafka
nosed attitude.
situation, which I didn't know this, and like it's just kind of like reading up on, like, their relationship was not great either. Like,
Yeah,
the only reason
yeah.
Kafka sticked around was because they made him assistant head coach.
Plus, it was like, okay, Kafka was the original play call, then Dable took over in 24. That didn't work out because
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
they gave it to the quarterbacks coach at one point too. Remember
yeah, so
Shane Tierney was calling plays at one point. It's like there
yeah,
was no accountability.
yeah. And then, of course, when Dable give Kafka the not only the assistant head coaching job, but also the play calling duties back for this year, I'm sure Kafka was like, okay, so now you want to go back to me. So I'm sure that, like you mentioned, there's some sort of
A
kind of
rift.
weird,
A rift.
yeah,
Like, I don't want to say they hate each other because I honestly think Wink Martindale and Brian Daboll cannot stand each other. But I think it's kind of one of those things where like they can work together. They're just not like friendly with each other.
hmm
It's just very like, I'm only talking to this guy because I have to.
yeah. And I think, well, I'll mention that kind of ties into one of the negatives about Dable that we'll get into just a second. And
Hmm.
then, one last positive about Dable, because there is going to be a lot of negatives that we'll discuss on the show
Yeah.
here. But with Dable, right, he came as this offensive guru, and sure, the seasons of 23 and 24, we didn't really see that. But this year we saw him, be able to. This offense was way significantly better, to be exact, compared
Yeah.
to 23 and 24. You know, 24 points per game, I
Hmm.
believe, so far this year for the Giants,
Yeah.
which is pretty impressive because we've seen New York score 18, 19 points a game on average. And it was just so depressing to see. But this offense took a major step forward, whether it is the development of Dart that he's been a part of, to Scadaboo obviously being a great draft pick as well before, and playing well before he got hurt, whatever the case may be. Like, this offense did take a step forward. It was just the defense that just couldn't get anything going, and we know who to blame, which is the terrorist himself, who's
Yeah.
still not gone. And we'll get to him, of course, later in his own separate conversation. Let's focus on the bad now. Look,
Well,
Dable,
I mean, one more positive for Dable is he
yeah,
was kind of able to get the most out of his quarterbacks. Like, we can go through, like, Daniel Jones had a great,
that is
first year
true.
under Dable. Then he kind of changed the offense to fit what Tyrod was doing, then changed it to fit what Tommy DeVito was doing, and won 3 games with him. Then Jaxson
Yes,
Dart, the one quarterback, even Drew Lock had that great game. The
that's
one
right.
quarterback who could never figure it out with Dable was Russ, but Russ is washed. So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good thing, but like, at the same, as a positive as we can say about like changing the offense and stuff, the positive things we say about Daboll are all things your OC should be doing. They're not head
Exactly.
coaching stuff, and that I
And
think is a
yeah.
negative.
Yeah, and that's why, like, we know, and like me and Brian, we wish Daboll nothing but the best, and we know he's gonna go be an OC or
Mm-hmm.
some as offensive analyst somewhere else and have success there, and then hopefully build his way back up to possibly head coach in the future. We don't know where, but we'll see how that
Yeah, I could
goes.
I could see like a McDaniels situation where it's like he's got to go back to like New England, like how McDaniels like went for the Broncos job, went to New England for like 5 years, and then took the well, I guess he took the Colts job, denied it, then took the Raiders job. I
Mhm.
think Daboll is going to follow a very similar path.
Yeah, and look, like you mentioned, he has all the qualities that have to be an amazing OC, because his skill set is offense, and we've seen that on multiple occasions here during his time in New York. It's just, and we'll get into it right now. He just couldn't win. After
No,
that 9-7-1 season, things kind of just fell off from there. Finished his career with the Giants as with a 20-40-1 record.
and
Oh,
5-17-1 against the NFC East, if I'm remembering it right.
which is
Like
not
that
great.
is that's putrid. You cannot do that against the division
if
and
you're
be a
gonna coach,
competitive
yeah,
team.
if you're gonna coach the Giants, you better be good against the division, no matter how tough it is. And I get it; the Eagles are reigning Super Bowl champs. The Cowboys are the Cowboys, and the Commanders are on the rise with Jaden Daniels when he's healthy. Fortunately, he's not right now, but you got to win in division games. It's very important that you do, and unfortunately, Daboll couldn't do that during his time with the Giants. Over the past 3 years, the Giants have won exactly 11-33. Um, which is the second worst record in the NFL during that span. This year has been awful. If we had good luck and a better defense, the Giants would be probably what, six
Better
and four right
defensive
now.
coordinator because it's I mean,
Yeah,
the talent we have on defense. It's not hard to get much better than that.
it really isn't. But here we are, the Giants blowing four double-digit leads on the road this year, and with a second team in the end and Super Bowl era to blow at least a 10-point lead with under 4 minutes remaining twice in one season, according to ESPN. So so like you mentioned earlier, someone had to take a blame for the Giants, blowing these multiple leads, and even though it should be Bowen, New York said, or the ownership was like, all right, you know what, Dable's the scapegoat, and we gotta let him go. So, but it's not only not only the blown leads, not only the constant losing that kind of led to Dable's firing, but his attitudes, man. And as much as I hate to
Yep,
say it, there were some
he had an
rocky
attitude
times.
problem. He had an
Yeah,
attitude problem.
there were some rocky times during his time during his tenure as head coach. For example, we saw the ugly split with Wick Martindale, right, which led to Martindale walking out on New York. There was the fine that unfortunately
Mm-hmm.
happened earlier this year when Dart went into the tent to check for a concussion, and he went in to check on his quarterback, which usually you don't do. And I get his concern, but he was also showing signs of frustration about them not
You have
hurrying
to
up
be
the
in the moment.
process.
You can't let your emotions get to you, which I think
Yeah,
Dable did.
yeah, and look, I get it. Like, that's your quarterback, that's your guy. He's the guy
It's a
that
funny moment
was,
in like the. It's a funny moment and will be a funny picture forever of Dable running in the tent.
yeah. But at the same time, it's like, hey, player safety. Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
He is,
But also, like, Russ is trying to call the offense, right? He's trying to run the offense on the field while you're doing this. Go check what's going on in the game.
well, yes, I will say I will defend. I know this may sound. I'll just make this as a joke. I understand why
Oh
he
no,
was
I
trying
get
to.
why. No one
Yeah,
wants Russ
like,
out there.
yeah, it was like, I feel when we saw Russ run out there, it's like, fuck. And we saw that again, once again, this past
Right,
Sunday.
right. I get that,
Um,
but like, you can't show that. You can't let that.
Honestly, I get, yeah, I mean, that's your player, but I honestly, for the way that Russ kind of made us suffer through those first 3 weeks of the year, I would do the exact. I'm sorry, I don't care if you're my player or not. Like, he is so ass to the point where it's like I wouldn't want
Right,
him
but
out there either.
I don't care how bad he is. It's a really bad look just for a locker room standpoint.
Man,
That makes it go off like you have favorites, and like if you're not a favorite, he won't care, even if
yeah.
the game is going on.
Plus, okay, I get what you're saying, and I will add on to that where it is kind of his fault too, because you could have elevated Winston to be your QB
Yeah.
two, but and then
Mm-hmm.
but you know what? That's on you, buddy. So that's on Dable or the coaching staff as a whole. Um, but yeah, so you had that, and then of course we've seen this video a few times throughout the or on Twitter sometimes, or I personally have, where we see Daboll flipping the tablet on Daniel Jones
Yep.
on TV. That was caught on camera as well. And then yeah, to go back to the whole Dart situation, yeah, as we've seen Dart, or we've seen Daboll be criticized for just not kind of how do I say this, not being overly concerned about the safety of his players. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Dart is, well, was the reason why they were winning games here this
Hmm.
year in New York. And he was the one that was going to save Daboll's job.
Well, I don't know about that. I think he would have
Well, I
started
mean, it was on
regardless.
track. I mean, if things, if defensively, if they could stop a damn lick, Dart was going to be the one that to save Daboll's job, and it looked like that. Especially after wins against the Chargers and the Eagles. But ever since Dart took over as starting quarterback, he's always had to be taken out for whether it's concussion or to check on him for injuries or whatever the case may be, which is kind of like, okay, is the coaching getting through to Dart,
It's not.
or is Dart just not listening, or is Daboll really not saying anything to him?
I think it's a
Uh,
mix of all three. I think it's Dart just being overly competitive, which is fine. It's fine.
yeah, it's
That's what you want from a player.
yeah,
It's Daboll not pushing the envelope on him. Like we saw the video of him like in the preseason saying slide, but like why was that not constantly drill into his head every single time he took a hit or not? And the third thing was, why did you let Dart go back out there when he was concussed? Because that concussion definitely came on that fumble that he had, which, by the way, I thought he recovered it. Am I the only one that thought he recovered that ball?
I
And then it
thought he
came out
did.
again.
I did. Yeah,
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Like,
I thought it was
unless
our
I'm
ball.
missing some. I watched the
Nah,
replay. I'm like, okay, Dart has the ball there. His knee, like he bobbles it, gets the ball back, knees down, then the ball comes out again. So I mean that's just a separate point. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe his knee was on the ground, but regardless, that's when he got concussed, and then he was out there for the next drive, and then once the quarter ended, and then magically Russ was out there. So you clearly don't. I don't want to say he doesn't care for player safety because that's a bad look to send somebody. But if you're allowing a guy, oh my god, it's snowing here. Sorry.
ooh,
Yeah, sorry, it's
must
his
be
first snow of the
nice.
season. Jeez.
Not over here. No.
Anyway, where was I? What was
Love
I
it.
saying? Anyway,
Love it.
but if you're clearly that blinded by like we have to win, that you're not taking your players' safety seriously, that's when the adult has to step in and be like, dude, I know you're a competitor, I know this, but we got to take you out right now. And I
Yeah.
don't think I think Daboll was too blinded by trying to win and trying to save his job, where he couldn't see the bigger picture.
hmm So, look, at the end of the day, Dable had his moments of success here during his time in New York, and like we said earlier, I wish him nothing but the best. I honestly do. Like, he's had his attitude problems here, and he's made some not great decisions, of course, during his time as head coach.
Yeah.
Um, but look, I'll always remember the playoff run in 22. That was great. Wish it could have worked out here in New York. I've seen on social media all these reviews from different people how he's a great guy and all those things, and
I'm
has a
sure
great,
he is. I'm sure
yeah,
everyone's a. I'm sure Pat Shermer's a great guy. I think Joe Judge sucks. I think we can all kind of agree. He
yeah.
he seems like a
He
bad guy.
does, he
Well,
does.
I'm sure McAdoo's great. I'm sure Shermer's great. I'm sure Dable's great. I'm sure Joe Shea. I'm sure Shane Bowen's a great guy. Not good football coaches.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, but
You
look,
know?
great guy, great family. Like I said, the players loved him at one point. And maybe they still do to some extent here in the locker
Yeah.
room. I don't know. Um, but at the end of the day, someone had to be the scapegoat, and unfortunately, it has to be him. And I hope he goes. Obviously, as of right now, he's not going to. And even McDermott,
No, we won't know
um,
anywhere until like
yeah, off
February,
season, yeah.
March.
I think McDermott already said that there's no talks in terms of having Dable back on the Bills right now. I could see
Yeah,
him
no.
going back there as an offensive analyst. That's that's something. Maybe go back to Bama or go back to the Patriots or somewhere to be some sort of analyst or some offensive
QB
or be
coach
in some
work with Drake May. Like that allows you to
maybe
put your skill set in.
maybe because that's what he excels at, which is developing quarterbacks, and he
Mm-hmm.
was on the verge of
Yeah, maybe
being able to.
Tennessee opens up an OC spot for him.
I heard
Or
Penn
with
State's another option as well for him. Might as well. I think his says children go to Penn State, if not mistaken.
yeah.
I believe so. But thank you, Daboll. I appreciate you. And yeah, we proceed from here. So, what do you want to tackle next specifically? Do you want to talk about the Shane?
Yeah, the Duchesne, because I think they're
Okay.
pretty
Okay.
they're joined at the hip.
All right. So for those who don't know, the Giants, the only move that was made on Monday. Actually, one last thing, by the way, it was kind of sad to see that the camera panned to Daboll towards the end of the Chicago game, kind of being emotional, and
You knew.
I didn't find out. I didn't really see that video until yesterday, and I was just like, damn, like he
Yeah.
knew in that moment, like I'm gone.
Well, there's a
And
report that they were going to fire him after the Broncos game, and Joe Schoen said no.
yeah, well, it kind of delayed firing, if anything.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a good thing they put Daboll out of his misery. But just wanted to, it was kind of sad to see. Like that kind of broke me a little. I was like, damn, like.
I mean, it's sad, but at the end of the day, it's just like you do your job. Like you couldn't do your job. It's
Well,
that simple.
his coworker didn't do his job. But anyways,
Right, but like I said, it became on him when he didn't take accountability for defense and fire Shane Bowen.
yeah,
Then
that is
then the
true.
defense became his problem.
That is true because as the head coach, you have the ability
You
to
can fire
fire
your staff.
and unfortunately, that's another negative thing. He wasn't able to build a great staff. Well, he almost built a good staff with Martindale, but then obviously that
And
happened.
then the attitude problem kicked in. And that was
Yeah,
something that like the league said that like no one wants to go work with Daboll because he's got that attitude.
yeah, and then they panicked, and then they got
They
Bowen,
panicked,
and
yeah, they
here we are
panicked
now.
and we're stuck with Shane.
Yeah, so but back to Joe Schoen. I apologize for going back to Daboll for a second. So yeah, so the only move made with the Giants staff was the firing of Daboll. It was announced that the Giants would retain Joe Schoen past this year and will lead the charge for a new head coach. Which, by the way, someone was like, "Oh, I still don't believe Joe Schoen is going to be the GM after this year." I'm like, "Okay, so you're
I'm
telling
hoping he's not, but like with everything the Giants are saying, I
it
would be
makes
done if he wasn't.
if that happens to where they say he's going to lead the charge for a new head coach and then gets fired, that makes no gosh
It
damn
makes no
sense.
sense.
Because
Yeah.
if that's the case, you might as well just kept Daboll the rest of the year.
Yeah,
And not let
exactly.
him, yeah.
Exactly.
So
Clean house all together.
there you go. But no. So, but as whoever said that is a moron. He's a dumbass. But anyways,
I think he's wishful thinking than more because like that was my first thought when I saw that Joe Schoen was going to be
yeah,
retained for the rest of the season. I'm like, okay, they're going to fire him at the end of the year, and then I saw the leading the search for a new head coach. I'm like, well, wait a minute, he actually is going to stay.
yeah, and that's what I don't like. I
hate that move.
We've
I
been
hate the
so
move of him
adamant.
staying.
Yes, we've been so adamant about like, hey, if one goes, the other goes. If you're gonna clean house, you clean house completely. You don't, look, I get it. Like maybe not right now. Firing Joe Schoen isn't the best idea.
But like you probably could because the only thing a general manager is doing right now is scouting. The trade deadline's over. So basically you're just on the draft. Which like if you have your scout team already like in place and they okay, this is like what we're doing. I feel like an interim GM of like a head of scouting can run the player scouting department until a new GM is named.
Yeah, like I understand where they're coming from. Like I get why they'll keep him for now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we're in November. You could make someone the interim. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
Why not do it? But
Mm-hmm.
New York, not even they not only were like, now Joe will stay, but he'll be here past this year. And for me, I'm just like, why?
Yeah, why?
Like, okay, like here's
There's
the
a
thing. We've done this before. Like
yeah,
we actually last week, I believe, or the
2
week
weeks ago.
before, yeah, 2 weeks ago, right? We went through the draft classes and we highlight the good and then the bad.
A
There was
lot of bad.
a lot of bads than goods, and the goods were picks that you're supposed to nail. Like you're supposed to nail those first round picks.
Yeah. The only pick you can really give him credit for is McFadden.
Yes.
Him being a 5th round guy. And no, Wandale was 2nd round. Dart and Carter were 1st round guys. Like
Neighbors was first round.
Neighbors
like, yeah.
was 1st round. There was nobody that like you looked at or like, okay, that was, a diamond in the rough they found, other than like McFadden, maybe Drew Phillips.
Yeah, the whole 23 class is ass. The 2022 class it's I mean, that was his first class by the 2022.
Very hit or miss. But like Dane Belton's in there. Dane Belton, it took a while, but he turned into a solid depth piece.
Tibbs is hopefully getting there. We've been kind of quiet these past few more than 3-4 weeks now, actually.
But that's been Tibbs' major problem his whole career, is these weird games where he just disappears.
Yeah, and that's where it's like, so
that's the problem that Thibodeau has whole career, and that's what keeps him from being a good draft pick.
So, well, then again, honestly, I won't really criticize any more defensive players until we have a new DC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I can criticize Thibodeau because this has happened from multiple regimes.
Yeah, even with Wink,
multiple, right? Yeah, exactly. He's had these problems, so this is a him problem.
Yeah, so hopefully turns it around. But with Shane, it's like, listen, he's had a lot more bad decisions than good. He'll always be criticized by the average NFL fan about letting Saquon Barkley go and re-signing Daniel Jones to that contract of 4 years, 160. Now, of course, that people are saying now that Giants should have kept Daniel Jones, but of course, those are idiots who don't know the game of football. And
Daniel Jones looked really good these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they should be a lot, are happy that New York was able to find their franchise guy in Dart, but I digress. And Jones has kind of fallen off a little bit.
No, that's a rumor started by like these weird pro Daniel Jones people that make no sense. Like NYG Pete on Twitter is just so over the top pro Daniel Jones. Like, dude, did you not watch for 6 years?
I know. I think because they just don't understand. Like, hey,
he reminds you of Eli Manning. Like, okay, cool, dude, cool.
That's great, fantastic. Did he do any winning in New York outside that 2022 season where it honestly wasn't even him that was winning games?
Everyone
it was
kind of
Saquon Barkley
and that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was Saquon Barkley in that defense that won us, helped us win in 2022. And look at him now. If Jonathan Taylor didn't go freaking ballistic on Sunday in Germany, they would have lost that game against Atlanta. Because Jones did not play well in that game whatsoever.
No.
Sure, statistically, what he threw for 300 or something. I don't freaking know. I don't care.
I don't even think it was close to 300 yards.
Okay, it's like 250. I don't know.
300 he had 3 fumbles. He recovered them, but he fumbled.
See, yeah, I'm telling you, the fall off is beginning, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're a hater." I'm not. We've seen this for 6 years. Why would we?
I literally told my friend, like, dude, I'm like as close to a Daniel Jones expert. I've seen every game Daniel Jones play in the NFL. Trust me, the fall off is here.
And if it's coming,
255 passing yards for Jones on Sunday.
Okay.
Well, 19 for 60, a touchdown and a pick, and then 3 fumbles that he recovered.
And he didn't throw a touchdown. No, he did throw a touchdown, right?
He did 1 touchdown.
And then but 1 pick. Okay, so we've seen it before in New York. Same stat line. Yeah, but it's like with people are weird about Jones, and it's like, and I'm a positive guy. So if I'm talking bad about a player, it's because we've seen the bad side of him to where it's like it makes us suffer.
And you were Daniel Jones believer more than I did. We did a whole show about Daniel Jones, and you said, I think Jones still has something. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I believe as long as I can, because I have hope for everyone on this, whoever's on this team. But the hope ran out with him. And look, in Indianapolis, he had a great start. But we've seen this before. If they load the box and stop Jonathan Taylor.
Lose Nate for a sec. You back?
Hello? Yep. Yes.
Yeah, I'm good. I froze for a second, but
see, you know what? That's why this PC I'm using is officially gone after today. New freaking laptop coming in because this PC has been causing me absolute issues ever since I got it a month ago. So Never get PCs, by the way, if you're recording a podcast. Anyways,
Mac.
I'm going back to a Mac. Actually, funny enough, I love you, Apple. You guys are fucking freaking outstanding. I gotta blur that out later. But with back to Shane, look, he's been criticized for obviously resigning Daniel Jones to that large contract after 2022, right? Letting Saquon go, most importantly, letting Xavier McKinney go,
I
who's
think
been
that's
in.
the big loss in Saquon, for being honest.
Yeah, but no one really talks about that. Everyone's so
No, because it's
focused on like,
safety. It's not a
yeah,
like glamorous position. Like, yeah, everyone talked about when he had all the interceptions, but like, if you don't get interceptions, no one talks about you.
yeah, and McKinney has been absolutely amazing ever since he left. Obviously, he was amazing in 22. And then when
He
he
had a
joined the
very
Pack,
solid 4 years with the Giants.
he really did, man. He was great coming from Bama. Obviously he's in Green Bay now and succeeding there as well. I think he's a top 10 safety according to Pro Football Focus. Top
Mm-hmm.
10 safety as a whole, honestly. He's been outstanding.
Yeah.
He letting him go. Like those are some moves that were made by Shane that will always be criticized. Now, we always got to mention the positives, right? And he has made some pretty good moves as a GM, more specifically in the trade market.
Mm-hmm.
Highlighted by trading for Brian Burns, who's been also outstanding for New York, still has a lead for sacks with 11. Obviously nailing the picks of okay, I take that back. Because I mean, he did nail the Malik. No, I take that back as well because there was videos
It's a
showing that he
doomsday.
wanted Odunze over Neighbors, so maybe not. Um, but he has went out there and was the guy who approved the trades to go up and get certain people, whether it is Burns or whether it is Dart. Like, yes, we know that Daboll wanted Dart, but at the end of the day, Shane is the one making the decision to trade the picks needed to go
Mm-hmm.
get the player. So I guess Shane deserves to be, um,
Yeah,
you
like
know,
everyone holds it against Shane, like, oh, Dart wasn't Shane's guy. I'm like, yeah, but Shane had the wherewithal to, and I don't want to defend Shane because I really think he should be fired.
yeah, me too.
Shane was like, let me listen to what my head coach wants and not just force players on him, which I think is a very noble thing and a good thing you want from your general manager. The ability to listen to what your coaching staff wants and how the players he needs to put into his offense.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, right, it's like, hey, look, he didn't want Dart in the first place, didn't
Mm-hmm.
want Malik Neighbors in the first place. It was, of course, Daboll leading the charge for him as well. And it's like it kind of goes back to what we talked about before, where it's like, hey, Shane is the type of guy to go with the consensus, and that's how
Yes.
he drafts. And honestly, when you look at these past few seasons, not just of course, this year was kind of starting to kind of how do I say this. The Giants were looking to be on the rise this year, but you look at the years before with the talent that Daboll had to work with,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't very great. And it still isn't great. Like, look at the Giants. Like, the Giants during Shane and Daboll's time here
Yeah.
together, you could argue 22 as well. There was no depth. There's no
No.
depth on this
There
team.
is still no depth.
Yeah, there still is. Like, that's one thing that they should be that should be having. It's like this team failed to have like if the starters went down, you're effed.
Yeah,
Like,
if Andrew Thomas goes down, that O-line falls apart. That should not be the case.
yes,
I
no,
understand Andrew Thomas is a great player, and there's going to be some step back, but we can't go from Andrew Thomas out there, this is a borderline top 10 unit, to this is the worst unit in the NFL. That's a problem.
yeah, and look at the receivers, right?
Yeah.
Once again, so for like when Malik Neighbors went out, the Giants were like, "Oh crap!" You thought that Joe Shane's the one who re-signed Darius Slayton. Look, outside of this past Sunday's game, he's been absolute trash.
Yeah.
So it's like they just failed to go out there and find depth for this team, and who's making those moves to GM because his responsibility is to surround his
And we're wasting roster spots on guys like Evan Neal and Jalen Hyatt who don't play.
Yeah, there's a lot of whether it's misses in the draft it's just a whole mess.
The whole roster is mismanaged. Like, even the kicker situation is like,
yeah. Oh my god, we haven't mentioned that. Yes,
I know we're being a dead horse with it, But it's the greatest example of Joe Schoen's failure as a general manager is he does not take that position seriously, and it's cost us multiple games.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, can we truly find any good reason to keep him? Like, I just don't know what I don't know what merit and Tish sees in Shane
And
to be like.
this brings up a fear that I've heard many people say is
Interesting. I
that
see.
John Mara isn't healthy enough to lead a search for a new GM. Which, like, listen, we've said this on this because of this cancer, like he's won't
Yeah,
need a
no, I
new,
know,
yeah.
but
Which, by the way, if that's the case, Mara, I know you love the Giants, and I'm wishing a speedy recovery and all this. If you're sick, if you're too sick that you can't effectively lead this team, you have to resign. You have to step down.
you
You
gotta
can't
let
run the team
go.
anymore. This
Yeah,
is
you can.
this is a $10 billion organization. All right, this isn't McDonald's.
Hold on a minute. Let's shy away from Shane for a second. We may not even go back to Shane.
Mm-hmm.
Why was hold on? How do I word this? Because according to reports, it was Mara and Tish who had a private conversation with each other first,
Yeah, they always do.
and then let Joe know that Daboll was fired.
Yeah.
Isn't Joe the president of football operations?
No, I don't think so. I think he's the vice president. I think Maher is still the president of football operations.
Hold on. I swear I saw something. Hold on.
Maher is the CEO, so everything goes through him.
So what did I I wish I could find it. Dang
I'm
it.
looking it up right now.
Now there was some sort of
No, just general manager. Dave Shane's just general manager.
there's no okay, hold on. Well, while I find oh, here we go. So Mara and Tish had a conversation on the phone together, and together they agreed it was time for a change. They called in their GM Joe Schoen and informed them of their decision. The thing with me, I'm just like, shouldn't Shane be the one to be like to fire the?
If
No.
you're relying on Shane past this season, then yes.
Let me get this. So hold on. I'm trying. See, I'm confused.
Yeah.
I'm really confused. Cause hold on, Mara's not healthy enough.
That's just what that's what the rumor is. I don't know how true it is. If it is
But
true,
if true,
if
that
it
makes
is
no
true,
sense.
yeah,
it makes no sense because you're not healthy enough to lead a GM search, but you're healthy enough to make the decision to fire a head coach.
right. But I think like he fires head coach, and then Joe Schoen takes the lead on everything.
So, okay, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. And for our viewers and listeners, just bear with me because we are recording. I am recording in the morning, so my brain doesn't work as fast in the morning as Brian's is as it's the new time his in. So let me get this straight. If true, and I'm pretty sure it is, I'm a because Mara
I
has
would say
frustrated me
60-40 true.
Good. Well, I'll be on the 60 side, 60% side. So let me get this straight. Mara, right, was not healthy enough. Is not healthy enough to lead a new GM search, correct? That's what the rumor is.
That's what the rumor is. Yes, he's not
Okay.
healthy enough to lead the GM search, so he's
Okay.
letting Joe Schoen run things.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Which is again, if true, that can't happen. I'm sorry.
So he's trusting Shane to run things. Okay, for sure. But then was the one who decides to fire Daboll. Okay, great. Right. Okay. So is Mara not healthy enough to also fire the DC?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
but like I can't even get mad about the Bowen fire, like not firing Bowen. Like I don't think it's stupid that Bowen's on the team, but at the same time, Bowen's gonna get fired at the end of the year anyway. The whole coaching staff.
So why not now? But that's the thing. It's just like, okay, you I think this is where my emotional feelings come out now. You let Daboll go, right? Not even a full year with his quarterback.
Yeah.
With his quarterback. Okay. Yet you keep the guy who we've seen this. It's clear that the players hate that terrorist that's running that defense. Yet you keep him. You can listen. Kafka is the interim head coach, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it had to be. And
yeah,
I think we're interested with Kafka because he's had
I am.
so many interviews for head coaching jobs. Like, okay, what is it that they like in him?
Yeah, and I do want to cover specifically because I am excited to see what he can.
Yeah,
what he can do
that's
there.
like we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. But you can always find an interim DC. There's people on the staff that could be the interim DC.
Mm-hmm.
Patterson, right? Is that his name? The Andre Patterson. Yes, Andre
Yeah.
Patterson. The current defensive line coach. He could be the interim DC for this year. He's an example. Just you can have a different face as your interim DC. You're already gonna go to an interim head coach. You might as well change the DC while you're at it because Bowen's the reason why Daboll is gone. Like
Yeah.
it sucks. It really does. And look, Daboll, we just talked about it. Daboll has had his fair share of negatives, which is why he's out of here.
Yeah.
But this year,
Shane Bowen being hiring did not cause all these negatives. There were problems from Daboll, honestly, from the end of the year one.
Yeah, but it's like we've had so many blown leads this year. Whether it's the Dallas game,
right,
whether it's the freaking Denver game, the obviously this past game against Chicago, where it's like this defense. If they just had the right plays called, we would be in playoff in the. And this is crazy to say, in the playoff picture, but
yeah.
no,
we'll be 6-4.
Yeah, but here we are, 2-8, and the guy that's responsible for this is still at his position. So it's like, Mara, your health is like low key messing up your thinking process because you fire the head coach, but you're not firing the guy that's also responsible for this team losing, and you're gonna keep him the rest of the way. Like, why?
The only thing I could think of, and this is not like this shouldn't be a great reason to, is that with Kafka as the interim, they don't want to shake up everything so much, so they keep some stability with him. Not saying that's a good reason one way or the other. I'm just trying to give a thought process of trying to keep some stability, and then everyone will get fired in the offseason. We'll just kind of finish the rest.
I think it's stupid. I think
I don't disagree with you. I think Bowen should be fired too. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and try to see what they're thinking. Okay, if we're gonna have an interim head coach, might as well just keep the rest of the coaching staff somewhat intact, so it's not this major shift from one week to another.
I know you agree with me. I just don't understand what they see in Shane. Like,
I don't think they see anything in Shane. I think it's more just trying to stay face for the season. Like, we're stuck with this guy. Any change we make now is not going to be like this saving grace. So let's just ride it out and we'll go to the offseason and start fresh.
And I hate how it's, and I'm not sure if this is true. I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. I hope they're not keeping Joe where it's like, because it's like, oh, you're the one who got Malik. Oh, you got Jaxson Dart, Abdul Carter, all those, Brian Burns. I'm like,
no, that's why.
Great.
In the press conference, they said it's because in the thing, it's because Joe Schoen has developed a young nucleus of this team that they can build around. And that's the exact reason why Joe Schoen's still here.
Okay, so let's name the young nucleus. So name them for me. We got
Dart, Scatterboo, Neighbors, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dex you could throw in there, Wandale.
Dex was so okay. Let me rephrase. Let's name the young nucleus that
he's responsible for.
Because Lawrence has been here.
I mean, he did pick Dart, so like I know it wasn't his pick, but like the quarterback, the GM that drafted Jaxson Dart. The trivia question will be Joe Schoen will be the answer.
Yeah.
So Dart, Scatty, Neighbors, Wandale, then Carter, Burns, Phibbs, McFadden, Drew Phillips. That's kind of it.
And I think once you get past Wandale, that's when you were kind of. It's kind of like, because like when you think young nucleus, right? It's like stars that you can build around, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're obviously going to build around Dart, Scat, Neighbors. Defensively, it's Burns and Carter, Tibbs, whatever. But it's like, that's great. Did is Mara's health making him stupid for not looking at the 23 class where everyone in that freaking draft class is complete doggy do, and Deontay is probably on his way out after this year. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
He will be. Deontay Banks is on this team next year.
Yeah, thank God. Like there's
Evan Neal, Jalen Hyatt are all gone next year.
There has been so many misses more than makes with the draft classes, and I mentioned yes, Shane has been good with trades, but what?
But how many trades has he made?
Only
2?
Two. Like, okay, great.
3. He made 3. He made 3 trades.
What was the third one?
The Burns trade, the Tony trade, and then the Darren Waller trade.
Okay.
The 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
The Tony Waller trades. I mean, we're gonna get what?
No, I think getting rid of Tony was the right move. That one's fantastic. Getting rid of Tony was the right move. Whatever. I think Waller was an interesting idea because there wasn't a top receiver available outside like the draft, and the Giants are too far back to get one of them. So you get Darren Waller in here, and they kind of serve as like, oh, here's a top 3 tight end in the game. Problem is Daboll didn't use him right,
and it didn't work.
Daboll had him blocking, doing all this stuff, and Waller's like, that's not my role. That's not the type of tight end I am. I'm a receiving tight end.
Yeah. So. Yeah, good point. Guess that is actually a good point. I didn't think about that. But then, like, I think for me, there's just so many more negatives and positives with Joe Schoen. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what they see in him. And
I don't know either.
It's really stupid. I really wish they didn't come out and be like, "Oh, Joe's going to lead the charge for a new head coach."
And what happens next year if they stink again? And they
I know, right?
Joe
exactly.
Schoen, and then what? We're going to fire the head coach too after 1 year? That's stupid.
Yeah.
So what? Now we're going to have to marriage a coach and a GM. What GM's going to want to come to a team where he can't pick his GM?
See, that's
the thing. And this is what could happen. We could be in a Jacksonville situation where Jacksonville originally were going to keep their head coach, wanted Liam Cohen. Cohen said, "I'm not going there unless you fire the GM," and then they fired the GM. Maybe that happens.
Maybe. By the way, I love that Jacksonville's GM. Gladstone is solid so far in his first year.
Yeah. His first year, yeah, he's solid now, but the other guy sucked.
Yeah. Poor Liam Cohen he has to deal with Trevor Lawrence's average bum ass.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think for me the emotions are kicking in. Like I just hate everything about the organization still. Mm-hmm. There's so many dominoes that still need to fall.
No, there's a problem. This is a top-down problem. Like Brian Daboll was a symptom of the problem. And the problem is the issue is the problem will never be solved because the Mariners are never selling the team.
He should.
He should, but he won't. He won't. The last name is too powerful. It's too the Maras and the Giants. The Giants mean too much for the Maras that they'll ever sell. But I hope that maybe like the next generation of Maras sees all the nepotism going on in the Giants and what's going on and realizes they have to modernize a little bit. They can't do things the way they always have been done. Right? Let the football guys handle football decisions. It's not 1950 anymore. The game's gotten better.
Yeah. All righty. Well,
that was a big thing with Wellington. Wellington era was the GM for a while, or like a head of football operations, and would run things. And it wasn't until like the late 60s, 70s he finally gave that power up. And once he did that, he got George Young in here, and things changed. That's what we kind of thought Joe Schoen was going to be, but so far, no.
Well, hey, you know what? As long as he's a GM, I guess we have to freaking support him. But honestly,
we don't have to support him. We can want him to do well, but we don't have to say he's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, he's our GM until further notice, which sucks. But anyways, you know what? Screw it. Whatever. If Mara thinks he's a good GM, then so freaking be it. But I won't be surprised if this freaking falls our.
Oh, this is probably gonna blow up in his face.
Yeah, blow up in his face, and then we're gonna be a bad.
This is why you clean house, all right? Because the Giants' job is really attractive. Let's be honest.
When you clean house, there's a whole different energy around the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna have the same faces in there,
Yeah.
the same faces that are leading this losing culture, it's gonna impact everyone. And I
Mm-hmm.
swear to God, if it messes up Jaxson Dart's development during his time in New York, I will
Yes, that will
lose
be a
my
problem.
crap because
And
he
by the way,
is
all these
a
people
franchise
online
guy.
saying that Bill Belichick is going to be a Giants head coach, shut
No,
up. Shut up.
no,
Are you stupid?
no, do not want him. No, I wouldn't touch him with nope,
Yeah,
nope,
why? What has Bill Belichick done since Tom Brady left that makes you want him to be a head coach? He had one
nothing.
good year at Mac Jones, and that's pretty much because Josh McDaniels figured out how to use him. And then he hired two Bobos as his, OCs and Joe Judge and Matt Patricia and ruined the kid. Yeah,
Ruined the
absolutely
kid.
not.
No, sir. Do
And
not
then,
want
then
him
you got the Jordan Hudson stuff. It's the last thing we need.
do not want him touching anything. He has been a respectable NFL coach. He is
Yeah,
a
the game has passed him
Hall of
by,
Fame.
guys. Just because he
Yes,
won
sir.
6 Super Bowls, in the late 2010s and early 2000s, doesn't mean he's going to work in 2026.
I know it's only 1 year, but he's struggling with the UNC. That program looks like shit.
Yeah, and granted, it's hard to make the jump from college to the NFL. That's also true.
Oh, NFL to college. Yeah. I
Same
get what you're
thing.
saying.
But either way, it's hard. We've seen very few guys be able to do both well. It's Jimmy Johnson, Pete Carroll, and that's pretty much it.
It's a little to. It's not many succeed, but
Jim Harbaugh's had success in both.
that's true.
He won a natty with Michigan. He built a good Stanford team. He took that Niners team to a Super Bowl. The Chargers are, you would think, on the right track.
Well, they beat the Steelers on Sunday night.
It's still it's
terrible.
The Chargers
game,
are weird because you don't know how good they actually are. And granted, that line is so beat up. If Slater and Alt were healthy, I think the Chargers are a lot better.
Yeah, dude, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, let's go to Kafka, and then we'll sort of end it with our final thought. Oh no, we'll end it with candidates that you want to see be head coach. Obviously, we'll talk a lot about that more in the off season, of course.
Yeah.
But we'll get. I want to get your thoughts on who potential names that you want to see as the head coach. But let's focus on Kafka now. What's your confidence level in Mike Kafka for these last 7 games?
I don't really have a confidence level with Mike Kafka because I kind of know he's going to get fired at the end of this year. So, for me, he's a placeholder. But I'm excited to see what he has to offer because think about when he came here, his first job was to learn Brian Daboll's playbook. He's been calling Brian Daboll's playbook for years. It hasn't been his playbook. So, and just because of this, all these teams have been calling in for interviews and stuff. I'm excited to see what's the reason teams are so interested in him. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it helps Jaxson Dart still, and hopefully he's healthy for this week against Green Bay, because even when Daboll was still the head coach, Kafka was still the play caller. He was still the same voice that Dart was hearing through his helmet, for plays and whatnot. And I think having that continuity will help Dart's development just for this year, because you mentioned Kafka's probably gone after this year. But you know what?
I got not a little bit of breaking news, but something that could help us if it feels better. This is from Ian O'Connell of The Athletic. Joe Schoen is not certain to be the Giants GM by the end of next year. They needed someone to get things going on the search because of John Mara's illness. Ownership will make a final call in January when they will review Joe Schoen's situation.
But that's the guy I was referring to, where it was just
yeah,
that makes no sense. Because why?
No.
So it's so you're gonna let him lead the charge?
If you let him lead the charge, I think maybe that's the wrong wording. I think what Ian O'Connell was saying is that Joe Schoen is gonna find candidates, create a list of guys, kind of get that ball moving, and then maybe a new GM takes over, sees the work he's already done, and then goes from there.
So they're gonna trust Joe Schoen's word to find a new head coach, and then when it,
I don't think trust Joe Schoen's word. I think just okay, these are potential candidates. These are going to be big names, stuff like that. Just got to get a broad over sense of what happened, and then maybe let a new GM kind of narrow it
Just
down and go with his
clean
guy.
the mother effing house. Oh my God, how hard could this be? God, this stupid organization, bro. My God, this makes no sense. See, this is okay. I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. This is why there was no notes made for this damn show because I am still confused. This organization makes no gosh damn sense. If true, okay, if whatever reporter from the Athletic is true or whatever, that makes no gosh damn sense. Because of your health declining, you're gonna trust this GM to lead this head coaching search or whatever, right? And create this. And I'm just basing off what you're saying. I'm not saying, I'm just basing off what you're saying. Create this list of candidates, and then ownership will have the last word. And then let him go. Like, so you're gonna trust this guy's judgment that you're gonna let go in like what 3 months? Why? Don't let him do nothing. Just let him. You could have. Oh my God, you could have just let him go on Monday. Either you let him go Monday or you keep Daboll the rest of the year. Like makes no gosh damn sense. I hate this organization. No, screw it. I don't talk about Joe Schoen. Just focus on Kafka. Just focus on Kafka for now. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm tired of this BS, man. F this organization. Freaking Mara, dude. So stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Kafka. Look, like you mentioned, he had a lot. Some teams had interest in him. He made it past the first round of interviews at one point to be a head coach.
Him.
That is
really
true.
Interested.
That is true. That is true. So yeah, he did work with Patrick Mahomes during his time with the Chiefs, and helped with his development. You pair that up with the interest from other teams to be a head coach that we've seen in the past. Part of me, I think he'll have some success. I think the Giants will continue to have success offensively for the rest of the year.
As long as Dart is undersettled, the Giants will be fine.
Yeah, you put him rest.
They'll be fine. Yeah. The offense will look competent.
It's crazy how it's like the stock of all the Giants skill players just declines, or everyone's like, oh yeah, don't even start Theo Johnson in fantasy because Russell Wilson's starting the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, if Dart can't go on Sunday, it's got to be Jameis. I'm sorry.
It has to, right?
Got to be Jameis.
And I hope Kafka, if he makes the move to be like, okay, Dart's out, but we're gonna elevate Winston to be QB2 or the starting quarterback, and Wilson will be the backup. If he does that, I think that is a great start to his interim head coaching career, and possibly
it's definitely brownie points.
That's true. But I will say, with Kafka, I know it's unlikely, but let's be straight up. He is gonna be, if he does well, and there's 7 games left in the year. I know we're not gonna make the postseason, which we expected at the end of the day. But if he does go 4-3, 5-2, and this offense looks good, and maybe magically I'm not gonna talk about the defense. This offense scores a good amount of points and wins games. It's not crazy to say Kafka could be the head coach past this year. It's wishful thinking, but
it's wishful thinking, and I definitely think this is an opportunity for Kafka to prove himself to be head coach, especially if Joe Schoen is going to stay around. He's very familiar with what Kafka has. I just don't see it happening. I just see this team just moving on at the end of the day.
I think, and I say that because, look, like I mentioned earlier, Kafka's been in Dart's ear for all this year. You want to keep some, he already lost. Dart has already lost the guy that has always believed in him in Daboll. But Kafka believes in him too. And to continue with the development of your quarterback, and if Kafka does impress, why not keep Kafka around if he does well as the head coach, and maybe let Kafka build his own staff, because we know he does. I feel like Kafka's smart enough that if he was the head coach, he's letting Bowen go, obviously.
Yeah.
And building a more competent staff around him.
Maybe
it works out. I could see there. I could see a world where he remains as the head coach past this year, and that is if he has success the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's my I don't know. There's some part of me where that feels like he'll have success the rest of the way, but I am most likely wrong because of this. The Giants still have a pretty tough schedule the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get to our final part of this, which is candidates in that you have in mind to be the next Giants head coach. Obviously, we talked about just now one of them with Mike Kafka. What are some other names off the top of your head that you want to see possibly as the next Giants head coach? Do you see like a veteran guy? Do you see
I mean, I
like
would love a veteran guy. Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I would love a guy like Gruden to come in, but that's such wishful thinking. It's not
it
going to happen,
is.
especially with
It
him
is.
suing the NFL right now. It's not happening. Maybe a couple guys like I would like to go with Clint Kubiak from Seattle. I think he's a good option. I would call Kingsbury, and then maybe like a Brian Flores. But again, like Brian Flores is suing the league, so I don't know how true that's going to happen.
Are you
But also
afraid that
look at the Rams. Look at what they have. Maybe go and get their assistant head coach. His name is forgetting on top of
Pleasant?
my head. Yeah, he's been fine. Like the Rams coach, the McVay coaching staff has produced a lot of good head coach. Maybe we just go that route.
Are you afraid of that if we do go that coordinator route that it's gonna kind of or how do I say this? Are you afraid that it's gonna be a repeat of Daboll? Because Daboll was a pretty good OC during his time in Buffalo. Are you afraid that if we go the coordinator route, that
No,
will happen
because like
again?
where else are you supposed to get head coaches from? Like that's getting coordinators is like I would say the main way guys become head coaches in this league. So I know what you're saying. It's definitely risky to repeat the same thing with Daboll, but also just don't have to just because you copy something doesn't mean it's not going to work.
Mhm.
Like it's for Daboll, he didn't have the personality to be a head coach. Some maybe McVay teaches his coordinators differently, or maybe Kubiak is different.
Yeah, I think in the moment right now, I'm afraid that if we go that coordinator route again, it's gonna happen.
Hmm.
What we just saw with
It's a
Daboll.
right, it's a legit fear to have because it's like, well, why are we doing it again? I'm more just saying like it's the best candidate possible. Who
Mhm.
cares? Who cares how similar his background is to another guy's?
Yeah, we'll see. Look, as
Well, hell, that kind of killed the Giants too. With they drafted Daniel Jones because he was like Eli Manning, and how'd that work out?
sure. We all know about that.
But then they drafted Jaxson Dart from Ole Miss. Again, another similar to Eli Manning, and that worked out well. So,
True, that is true. Look, at the end of the day, I hope we find a good candidate.
mhm.
That's all I ask. I hope the next guy would come in. I think definitely if we do
Let's be
go the
honest. I
assist.
want I want to throw 5 names out there that I don't want: Belichick,
Okay.
Mike McCarthy, Spagnuolo. Um, I don't want Kiffin. I just don't know how he would make that jump to the NFL. And then Antonio Pierce, I would like as a DC, not not a head coach.
Definitely not. What about Lou Anarumo? He's another name that I've seen swirling on social media. He's the Colts DC.
Colts DC. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. The Colts defense has been fine this year.
Does it matter in your mind if our coach is an offensive mind or a defensive mind?
No, but you have to pair him with somebody. If it's an offensive mind, you have to go get a very good defensive coordinator. Or if you'll
And
get
then
the
vice versa.
defensive minded guy, you have to go get like the Kingsbury or the Joe Brady or someone like that offensive guru to work with Dart. You can't pull a Bears route where you hire Mike Eberflus for Justin Fields and then you hire a moron as OC.
Oh god, yeah. That poor Justin Fields. His development with the Bears was awful.
You know,
Um,
that's what I think. I think the coaching staff around a coach matters more than if they're an offensive, defensive minded guy.
okay.
Because look at Belichick. Belichick was a defensive minded guy, and he always had great offenses.
Yeah,
He had coached one of the greatest offenses we've ever seen as a defensive head coach.
yeah, true. But we'll see. The Giants will not find their new head coach until the end of the season. So we will be riding it out with Mike Kafka the rest of the way. And yeah, we will go from there. But officially, Brian Daboll is officially gone as the Giants head coach, and in a perfect world, he is back as the Giants OC. So he can
that would be perfect. I think that's a perfect because I do like him as OC. I think it'll be a good OC somewhere. It's just not going to happen.
But yep, the chances of that happening are the same as for us winning the lottery. It's very, very slim, especially if the owners are the ones who wanted Daboll out. So
yeah, and the ownership's not be like, oh, we fired your head coach, but you can come back as coordinator.
Yeah. No hard feelings. So no,
it's like, hey, buddy, what do you want?
We want you. No, it's like, but you can work with Jaxson Dart. No.
Do you want some positive news?
Sure.
Chick-fil-A is rolling out vending machines.
Who?
Chick-fil-A.
Ooh,
this is interesting.
Where?
Georgia.
Never mind. Live in California. Doesn't matter to me. If they roll it out in California,
right, but if they roll them out in Georgia, that means they're coming.
Okay, wait. They're rolling out. How does that work?
I don't know. I just saw online that they had
because that's low key disgusting. So what you're telling me that there's gonna be Chick-fil-A fries? No. Wait. And they're hold on.
I gotta look into it. It was a very quick post on Twitter.
Okay, I was gonna say I may need some more context because I'm like, is the food gonna be cooked and ready to go in
Georgia
the vending
Tech
machine?
Is testing a fridge market location on the Georgia Tech campus. These are temperature controlled vending machines offering grab-and-go items such as a Chick-fil-A cool wrap, a Southwest veggie wrap, and waffle potato chips. So it looks like it's more of like a sandwich thing.
No.
They're also closed on Sundays.
No, you know what? Fail.
That's the most Chick-fil-A thing I've ever heard in my life. Somehow they programmed the vending machines to turn off on Sundays. Incredible. Never change, Chick-fil-A.
No, that's terrible. I'm sorry. Like, I get it, because it does make sense, though. I'm like,
that's such a level of respect. That's such a, commitment to a bit. I have to respect it.
Like, it makes sense that they're not going to have, obviously those, regular chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, you're not going to have a fried chicken sandwich in there.
Yeah, so that's how I was kind of confused. I'm just like, how does that kind of work? But I mean, the wraps that can be temperature controlled. Chips can be temperature controlled. Yeah, but that's not what makes Chick-fil-A. Everyone goes for the chicken sandwich. And...
Yeah. I mean, I know people people go to why are you going to the fast food place for a salad? People, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah, no one does that.
Go make an actual salad. Go make it. It's A, probably cheaper, and B, it's not got all the crap in it.
Yeah. So, alrighty. Well, this will be the end of season 3, episode 53. An emotional.
What a way to close out Brian Daboll being fired. Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. You think you like I'm sure you like Chick-fil-A.
I love Chick-fil-A.
I'm sure. I'm talking about him. I know you do. Talk about Daboll.
Daboll? I gotta see Daboll eating a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, Daboll. Yeah, I mean, look, hey, Daboll is.
What do you think Daboll does today? You think he goes up to dinner or something?
Hey, he deserves it. Honestly, I wouldn't want to coach this franchise either. His organization can't even be.
I mean, Joe Judge had that big party when he got fired.
Wait a minute, what is? Oh my, but no, no. I was gonna say I saw a tweet that Dillon Gabriel's up for Rookie of the Week. That's ew. That's not why.
Oh, I gotcha.
Why is Dillon Gabriel for Rookie of the Year? Rookie of the Week. That makes no sense.
Of the week, Dillon Gabriel.
He's up.
He had a decent game. I know they lost, but he played fine. He was.
We didn't even talk about it real quick. Sorry, folks. Nico Harrison was fired this morning.
Yeah, Gabriel went yesterday. He went the other day, 17 for 32 for 167 yards and 2 tutties. It's a good performance. I know they lost, but still a good stat line. Oh yeah, Nico Harrison being fired, the most predictable thing of all time.
I just saw a report. A Dallas Mavs employee was fired by Harrison while visiting his gravely ill mother. Yeah, Nico, you are a bitch. Yes, sir. Get your ass out of Dallas.
I mean, his plane ticket was cooked as soon as he traded Luka. It was inevitable.
And now he's on the Lakers. Yes, sir, he is.
You could have fired him right then and there. What would have saved us the trouble?
Yeah, so. All righty. Well, I tell you what, folks, we'll be a lot more. Well, I'll be a lot more emotion or not emotionally as much led on Thursday for our next episode, as we will be previewing another loss. As the Giants will be hosting the Packers on Sunday, so we'll preview that.
Mm-hmm.
I have sort of hope that
I know we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose.
Yeah, I don't know. But they only put up 7 points yesterday. The Packers did.
Oh, okay.
Awful Monday night game, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice defensive struggle. So if you're into that, you had a great time.
I hate defensive struggles. I want chaos. I want 49. I want Bengals Bears type of games. I don't want no defensive. Well, actually, I take that back because we've seen this before with Giants and Dallas. That was a fun game to watch, but then of course Shane Bowen doesn't know how to call plays, so maybe I want. You know what? I don't know what I want anymore. I give up. Who doesn't know also what they want? John Mara and Steve Tisch. By the way, what is Steve Tisch? You know what? No, I'm gonna get more.
I don't know what Steve Tisch does.
Yeah, honestly, I think Tisch is useless. But you know what? You can follow us on social media, and we appreciate y'all for y'all support. You can follow me at Nathan_124. You can follow Brian at PG1016. You can follow our podcast page at 3010 Pod on the Instagram and the Twitter. And you can follow our TikTok page at 3010 Podcast with clips from our full episodes. Shout out to our sponsor, SeatGeek. Use the code BellyUpSports for $20 off your first purchase. And you can find my article work, which will hopefully continue here. And Brian's article work as well at Brian at bellyupsports.com. But yeah, we appreciate y'all, and we'll see you guys on Thursday for our next episode. And yeah, thank you again. Thank you, Brian Daboll, and go Giants.
Yeah, okay.